Back in the next part of this video, we're left off right where we did last time, and right now we're working on getting a nut for this bolt that I put in. So, or for these screws that I put in. So, I'm just gonna go on ahead and screw that old nut in and put one of those on each one of them. So. I'm just kind of demonstrating here at first, but as you can see, I've kind of sped the footage up a little bit now, so I want to be able to show off more stuff in a shorter amount of time. But feel free to pause, take notes of my topology or what I'm doing, or slow the video down to 1 times or half times in YouTube. It should be pretty much the normal rate. So. But yeah. And now I'm just quickly speeding the video up here as I quickly go through and add a bunch of these everywhere to pretty much all of the different screws that I have. So, and then just copying all of those up at once for that one. Then I'm moving on to the bottom piece here, just kind of finishing this up. Just doing some minor tweaks to better facilitate the package that I'm going to be putting in here. So, and then just deleting those because it kind of got wonky, and just putting them back. So, just kind of checking those edges to make sure that it's all good. But then I decide, I'm like, you know what? I end up going back and changing the topology just a tiny bit, but it doesn't change too much. But then I decide, you know what, this is actually too big here at the front, so I'm actually going to pull this back. So I take this one and then the top one, and then I pull the legs back as well to this. So, and then I pull that one forward to fit in there. So, and I make the whole unit just a tad bit smaller that way. Then I kind of just start working on the rest of the supports and some of the back guards and stuff like that. And I end up taking this piece, symmetrying it, and then just kind of playing around with with how close I want that in, since I'm going to be putting those 2 packages in there. And then I'm pretty happy with that at that point. So, then I decide, kind of same thing with the front of the other one. I decide, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna get rid of this too as well. I think just having this be a little bit shallower, making it easier for that one package to slide in and out. I was like, do I want to make the screw smaller? Not really. I don't really care for how that looks. I kind of want them all to be the same. So I just kind of decided to do the same thing I did with the front. To do here, just delete those faces, reconnect it, and then slide that in. So, and since they're instances, it automatically does it for the other side too, which is nice. So I end up moving that and changing that a bit, but it doesn't stay that way for too long. I also don't realize that I fuck up my instances there, but it is what it is. I end up going back and fixing it later, so not too upset about it. Yeah, I didn't realize that I instanced it there, but I just quickly go in and subdivide it, and then after I do that, I copy the screw pattern down, and then just quickly insert that into there. But realize that, oopsies, I forgot to add a couple loops. Add those couple loops in, and then just delete those 4 faces, and then just kind of do a quick weld in place of all those verts. And I'm pretty happy with that. So since it's instanced, it automatically affects the other side, and then I just duplicate it down there, and then I do the same thing to the bottom of the leg, just giving it the same exact effect. I just use the grow command to select that a lot easier, and then just sort of line it up with the screw, and then do a quick weld in place. And I'm pretty happy with that at that point. So yeah, I'm just kind of checking it now, and then I go back and fix those pieces, and then I'm starting to kind of bevel them and add extra verts and extra edges and stuff like that to them. And then I go through and I fix the beveling as well here, so that way this isn't all messed up and it looks nice and clean. Oop, but I forgot that one. Boom, and we got quads. Go through and do the same thing to that side and to the other side as well. Almost forgot one of them, but I remembered that there's 4 of them, so I realized I still had one more to do. So I finished that up and turbo smoothed it to make sure it was all good, and I was pretty happy with that, and pretty much moved on to the next part after that. Just kind of tweak some of the rest of the geometry, just kind of adding a couple more edge loops to kind of make it a little bit more consistent on the insides, the outsides, just to make it so that when it turbo smooths, it has a little bit cleaner of the edge, and it's a bit more consistent. So yeah, I just kind of even that out there. Same thing with the bottom here. Then I just kind of connect on the inners and outers of it. Same thing with here. Then I realize, oh, I missed one. So it was a good chance for me to go back and clean stuff up. So I always like be able to go back and do this. You always miss something, I think no matter how good you get, you miss at least one thing. Like, ah, shit, I forgot to do that, or I forgot to do this. So having those moments where you go back through the model to do other stuff can make fixing those a lot faster and a lot easier. And then I just did some minor tweaking here to make the topology a little cleaner around those loops. And kind of did the same thing at the other ones as well, and then added an additional edge loop on the inside lip there. And then just kind of deciding what did I want to do here. So I decided, let me go put these screws up here. So I do the same thing to these 2 pieces that I've been doing previously, which is kind of delete these 4 faces and then make new pieces of them and then weld and attach. And since they're instances, I don't have to worry about doing it to the other side. I just have to do it to one of them. But because the middle and the right side, or the middle and the back, are different, I have to do both of them separately. So, but at least the individual sides are the same, so it makes this go by really quick. And I'm pretty much done after that. Then I just want to kind of clean up the placement of the screws and the bolts now that I've got it all set. And then just kind of cleaned a couple of these up, and then I pretty much moved down to my next step, which was just kind of twisting and turning these screws, kind of giving them a little bit of a uniqueness. Same thing with the nuts and stuff, just kind of making them a little bit more unique and stand out on the model a little bit more. And then from there, we moved on to the next part, which is the first container, which didn't take me very long to make. I knew these container parts would end up being the faster part of the modeling process, and not really take too long. The top container took me a bit of time, but that was just because I didn't quite know what I wanted to do with it yet. I didn't really know how I wanted it to look, so it was a bit of trial and error trying to design it, but I ended up coming up with something I really like. So, but these, I pretty much designed them kind of how they're designed in Star Citizen, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of something else to them now that I've been looking at them after editing this video. There's a couple things I want to do to it to make it shine a little bit more, make it stand out in the kind of designs I'm doing and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. So right here I'm kind of debating how I want to do the cutout. At first I do just like a bevel, and I'm like, maybe I'll just do it this way, but then I kind of move it around. I try it again, and I'm like, no, I don't like that. Then I just do an extrude in place of it, and I'm like, that looks pretty good, but then I notice some kind of wonky areas. Then I just do a reset X form just to clean it all out, and now when I do it, it looked a lot better to me. So, but I'm picky, or at least I can be picky. And then I just kind of edited it a little bit and kind of tweaked it around, and then I went through and kind of started selecting the different edges here, mostly the main ones, adding more edge loops as well, getting ready to bevel pretty soon, so that way we have some good squares to put them off on, and then we start to do that, and then we're just going to kind of fix the n-gons and turn them into quads. So all these n-gons here, so makes them less problematic, and it'll make the next beveling part a lot easier. Then we start to just kind of select the other edges that need to be beveled, which are going to be your inside corners and your outside edges and stuff like that. And they auto select pretty easily for most of them, except for these couple. But then I just hit them with a quick chamfer, and they're looking pretty good after that. And I ended up being pretty happy with that, but then I ended up also doing a bit of a bevel on the interior lip as well, the little edge I created. So, but we're gonna add a little bit more topology just to kind of even things out. But I realize I don't like the way that looks, and I realize I actually want flat geometry at the bottom first. So I decided to flatten this piece out and then drag it down and kind of have it sitting there at the bottom as just kind of like something to hold that edge a little bit stronger. And then here I'm editing the inside and that edge there, and I decide to bevel the inside as well. Just so then when it turbo smooths, it's really, really sharp. And it does. It looks really nice with edge faces turned off, and about 2 or 3 subdivisions. Looks pretty nice. And I just kind of mess with the size of it, just to kind of get it to fit a little bit better in the container. Then I make a copy of it for up here, and then I make it a tad bit shorter as well, and a bit smaller. But I gotta make it a unique piece first. So I'm just kind of going through and realizing I can't really delete that stuff because it's holding a lot of edge loops. So I'm just going to delete that one and then just tweak the other one. So that's exactly what I do. I just kind of end up tweaking it and I fix it. It's pretty boring to watch, but you kind of get the idea of it. Then we get the next top box. So this one's pretty cool. This one's pretty standard, pretty simple. I'm just kind of doing a couple of insets and a couple of extrusions, and then just kind of generally lining it up using the vertices to fit inside this little area. Then I'm just kind of changing the dimensions of the box a little bit, just so that it's like kind of tapered inward just a little bit, but not a lot. And then adding that larger indentation in there as well to create that cool look that they've got. And doing a little bit of conical shape there at the bottom of it to kind of tighten it in. And then I'm going to start working on the cleaning this up so that when we go to put chamfers and stuff in, there's really good boxes and really clean areas to put it. So this is going to help speed that up a lot, and it ends up making this look a lot nicer. So if you notice, this video is coming out a little bit late. I was hoping to come out with it a little bit earlier this weekend, but it is what it is, you know. Sometimes life gets in the way, and that's okay. We live life as it goes, and there's only so much you can do. So, but here I'm just kind of cleaning up the geometry, just kind of straighten out stuff by hand, because there's some stuff that I don't want to be straightened out because specific reasons. So I'm just kind of doing it by hand and then getting ready to bevel some of the edges to kind of clean it up. Yep, then I just kind of continued to inset different pieces of it, just kind of preparing for that interior, and just the getting the rest of the corners and edges beveled, as well as that extrusion that I did, getting that really nicely beveled as well. And then yeah, getting the inside beveled, and then we end up beveling those other corners there, and you'll see where those squares that I made earlier are going to really come in handy, and we're making some more here on the inside to facilitate a better topology there for when we do that bevel. So we get good quads. I'm going to do it to both sides. I could probably, in retrospect, use symmetry. Sometimes I forget to do that. Sometimes I'm bad at doing that. But sometimes I also like kind of doing it by hand, because in the end it ends up making it look a little bit more less symmetrical, which sometimes is what you're looking for. So sometimes I'll do it by hand. In this case, I'm doing it by hand because I just don't think I was thinking. But I was having fun working on it, so I didn't mind. Then I just kind of checked the turbo smooth to see how things were looking, and then I just added a few more lines to just kind of help clean up the gaps and stuff in between. Kind of straighten some things out and make it look real nice. Then I just kind of selected that interior, but before I did that, I decided to just delete the verts and the edges from the inside, just to make my life just a tiny bit easier. I ended up having a crash shortly during this, and had to redo parts of this, so I ended up having to do this twice, but both times look pretty much identical. They look pretty damn good, so I'm not too worried about it. And it didn't take me very long to fix the second time, since I knew exactly what I wanted. So yeah, I just kind of inset the inside, which is why I'm not including the next one, because I'm just like, I do the same thing twice. So then I just kind of connect the different edges, and yeah. This doesn't take me too long. There's a few plugins I believe you can get to help speed this up, but they do cost some money, I believe. So a lot of the times I try to share the stuff that's the free stuff, because that's what I'd be using. So, oh yeah. Besides, of course, the paid programs and stuff, but I mean like additional plugins and add-ons and shit like that. I don't pay for it too much, at least not for 3ds Max. Some of it I do, like Octopus I paid for, but that was well worth its money in gold. So I, as you may have seen, I skipped forward just a little bit there, kind of tweaked the box a little bit, decided to make it just a tad bit smaller and shorter, but I really liked the fact that I did this. It gives it more of a unique feel and size and shape, and makes it feel more made for like condiments and stuff like that, stuff you would see in like a hot dog stand. So maybe it's got like salt and pepper packets in it. I don't know yet. Haven't quite fully decided yet what I'm going to put in each one. But I have ideas of a few different things, but I got to see how I think they would look. So I got to like probably model some props for those, the different bottles and canisters and bags and shit like that. So, but here I'm just kind of going through and tweaking this just a little bit more, just so that's a little bit lower. After that, though, I'm pretty happy, and I don't do too much more to it. Just kind of cleaning up a couple things here and there, and then I pretty much move on. Check the subdivisions, just see how it looks. Everything looks smooth. Just kind of seeing how everything's looking so far. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it so far. Then I go on ahead and I'm gonna make a copy of this one, but not an instance. Delete the subdivisions and then delete most of that, so. Kind of going into creating this top, I wasn't 100% certain what I wanted to do or what I wanted to make or how I wanted it to look, so it took me a little bit of playing to kind of figure it out, but I kind of skipped through it and show you what it looks like. If you ever want to see me design something like this in real time, make sure to go check out the streams. I'm going to try to do them more often. I don't really have a schedule for it right now, but I'm hoping in the future to have one. But right now life's a little too chaotic to have a schedule, so. But yeah. Just kind of go in and just do a quick weld in place of a bunch of the vertices just to make it a little bit easier to work with. Then I'll go back in and rebevel it later. And now I'm just kind of going in and straightening the different verts and stuff out and the different edges out. Select all that stuff. And then I'm just going to kind of connect everything here, and it's all going to kind of just work itself out. It's going to look real nice in the end. So I kind of messed that up there, but I go back and I fix it pretty quickly. So realized, nope, that's ugly. Is that what I want? I want this. Add an extra edge loop in there. Deselect those, and then just kind of fill that stuff in. Pretty simple, pretty quick. And then from here, I don't really do too much more with the model. I just kind of go through, kind of clean up the different edges. Just kind of do some welds in places where it needs it. And then I go through and clean the edges up, and then I add some bevels, and that pretty much takes that model to the end. So I'll just kind of have the video speed through. I kind of do some tweaking to some of the vertices, just add a little angle here, but all the video speed through this section here, just not really doing too much, and then just kind of adding some bevels here. Then I'm just kind of going through and checking out how the subdivide works, adding some extra edges where needs be, and then just editing it so that it fits really nicely on this lip here. fixing the corners, fixing the height of it. Then I'm just going through and cleaning up the different edges, going in with the symmetry tool, and just overall cleaning this mesh up to make it fit better where I want it to be. So doesn't end up taking me too long to do this, and it ends up looking pretty good. This pretty much finishes up what I wanted to work on for this part of the video. And then in the next one, we'll see me unwrap it, and then we'll put it in an engine. And that's going to be the next one. That's going to be exciting. My plan for unwrapping it is going to be pretty basic. It's not going to be super duper complicated. It's all going to be on one sheet. The only other thing I'd like to model are some of the interior pieces, some maybe salt bags or shit like that, straws. Stuff like that I will do later on, if I decide I want to add more stuff like that. So, but right now I don't want to do that quite yet. So, because I haven't quite decided fully what I want to be in there. So, once I fully decide that, then I'll go through and make those objects. So yep, I finished that up. Just kind of checked to see how it looked. Was pretty damn happy with how it was looking. I was just kind of checking the topology, and then I went through and just unturbo smoothed everything to prepare it for unwrapping. So yeah, looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Showed it next to the whole hot dog machine there. Then I just kind of went through here, selected the screws here, realized I just wanted to make them all just a little bit smaller, so I just shrink them all just a tiny little bit, and boom. We end up with this beautiful model here. Might do a couple more small tweaks to it before I go into the unwrapping phase, but pretty damn happy with it. Yeah, going to be moving on to the next phase of it. Going to be unwrapping it. We'll be doing it here in 3ds Max. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I hope you tune in for the next one. I hope you're learning along with me and growing as an artist as well. I've got a lot more planned for this entire project, and pretty soon we'll be getting this uploaded to the Unreal Marketplace for the first version of it. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Pretty excited for that. So don't forget to like, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment if you feel so inclined to. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you think. I'm going to continue to work more on this, and I'll be excited to see the progress. So planning on doing a stream, if not today. Going to be doing one tomorrow, so I hope to see you there. Feel free to tune on in. We'll be live on YouTube vertical, as well as live fully on Twitch, so feel free to tune in. Looking forward to seeing you there. Have a great rest of your day. See y'all soon. Peace.